What's up guys, Technicals here. If you're a millennial with Gen Z tendencies like me, perhaps you've heard of cryptocurrency, perhaps you've heard of mining, and maybe you're interested in doing a bit of it yourself. You're a millennial, you're in your prime investing years right now. So can mining be a viable investment option for you versus all the other traditional types of investments? I think so, so I'm gonna outline some lofty figures to dazzle you and make you get into mining. I'm also going to hedge that with some of the downsides of it and show you a few examples of what an investment might look like. Of course, this is not financial advice, just entertainment. So come along with me as I show you the lofty numbers and prepare to be dazzled. I'm the Technicals, let's get into it.
The Technicals.
Once again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't even have a degree. I dropped out of college, okay? But I do well. I'm a business owner and I kind of know what I'm doing in some avenues, and I've been doing mining, so it seems to be working out. Crypto on the way up right now, so the numbers looking good. So it's going to be lots of dazzling figures, but it could go down. Let's take a look at a sample farm with a $12,000 investment. No, you're saying 12 grand, that's a lot of money, but you're a millennial, you're in your prime earning years, you can cough up 12 grand. Let's take a look to see if this does scale up or down depending on what you really get. If you're completely unfamiliar with mining and how these devices work, then I'd probably suggest you start with something simple. Check my channel for lots of videos on how to do the various types of mining things. There's a great mining community here on YouTube. I implore you to go and do some research for yourself. But if you do know a little bit and you're somewhat familiar with these terms, then that's good because this will make a lot more sense. So I've got a little sample farm here. This is someone who isn't me and their farm, and potentially what it could be earning right now as of a spot check on February 11th, 2024. Bitcoin's going on a little bit of a run, so the numbers are looking pretty good today, but this could change. It could go up and down and sideways and all around in fucking circles. Who knows? But breaking it down real quick, we've got an S21. It's the most recent Bitcoin ASIC miner from Bitmain, generating a 1671 a day, eating 840 in electric. That gives us a profit of 831 per day. Two S19J Pros making a lot less. 7950 X3D and a 5900, those are CPU miners. The KSO Pro, that's another ASIC mining Caspa. And GPU rigs, which you're probably most familiar with or have heard the most about, I'm completely leaving off this list. I've got 3 GPUs, but I use it only for speculative mining. If you want to break this down, the ASICs are kind of like your heavy hitters, your bread and butter, your daily drivers, the things that are just kind of guaranteed to just pump it and make you money all day. The CPUs, a little more speculative. I've recently switched into moving them toward that ASIC category, and the GPUs are going to give you something to sort of gamble with, so to speak. So you're going to look at coins that you think are going to go up, and then you mine those on the hopes that you get some price appreciation. I have not factored in a price appreciation into this at all. I've tried to keep it very bare bones so you can kind of structure it and see what your return would be, because I hope to expand on the series and look at this as an investment option versus just buying the coins, versus just putting it in an Apple savings account at 4.5 APY, versus putting it in the S&P 500, versus buying, magic beans from that guy down at that foreign store, and he has the weird hat and the big mustache. I want to compare this to all the different forms of investing, because if you're a millennial like me, you were a somewhat adult during 2008, 9, and 10, and you're maybe a little skeptical of the traditional stock market. Sure, maybe you put some money away in 401k, maybe you don't do that at all. But me, when it comes to just buying stocks, I do it, but kind of begrudgingly, kind of just because everybody else does. I don't trust it because I was around, I saw what happened during those times. Plus, I like mining because it's somewhat active, of an active investment. You just put money into your 401k and you just sit there and look at it and hope it goes up. You can't have any control in your destiny. You can't have any impact on what that money's really doing other than just pouring more money on it. So when it comes to mining, at least I'm sort of involved, and you can be as involved as you want to be. You can kind of get an ASIC, just set it there and watch it run and check in on it every once in a while, or you can do something like GPUs where you have to constantly sort of be tinkering with it, messing with overclocks, etc., but that can yield you better results. So again, going down my sample farm, not including GPU rigs, and I put in $1,400 with ancillary costs, so power supplies, cables, other weird things like that. We're taking 12 grand, that's what we're rolling with. So as you can see, our daily revenue, what we're taking in from this $12,000 investment that we sold our Honda Civic to get, $40 a day. But it's eating $24 a day in electricity, leaving us with only $16 per day in profit. Now, there's no cheating the tax man, so I've included a 25% tax on all these figures moving forward into my samples. Now that's the average effective tax rate that most Americans pay. You might make more money, you might be in a higher tax bracket, you might make less. You're just going to have to sort of scale this based on whatever your current situation is. Me, I'm a business owner, so naturally when I see something like an electric cost, I think, well, that's an expense, but I'm doing this on the individual level. Previously, I kind of did it with the business. This time around, it's all individual, and it burns my ass so much because I'm paying for the electricity myself. You know, normally when you operate a business, that cost is reduced from your taxable income. So there's some merit there if you get to the point where you can operate this as a business, or you can sort of incorporate it as one segment or one subsidiary of a business. There's a lot of potential there to sort of make more better. Anyway, our revenue, let's look at that. Per day, $40. Per month, $1,200. Per year, $14,600. Now, if you go over to our net, what we're taking in, $5,800. Take that 25% away, you're left with $4,412 per year. That's what you net. That's if nothing changes, the prices of the coin don't change, the difficulty doesn't change, you mine the same amount of coins, you have no downtime. That's not going to happen. For a whole year, that's not going to happen. Things are going to go up, down, sideways, and all around. Your costs are going to go up, you're going to have downage. Things will occur. But again, it's very difficult to factor that in when you're trying to look at this and compare it and see if it's something that you want to do. So the next thing I want to do is look at a couple different strategies on what you can do with this money coming in, because this is an investment. When you get paid a dividend, you don't just pocket that money, you put it back into whatever you're invested in. So let's take a look at a couple scenarios where we're reinvesting the money. All right, so scenario one, you're gonna roll your earnings into more equipment. So what I've done is I've got 12 months here. So month one, again, we are assuming nothing changes, which is we know it's not gonna happen, but again, if nothing changes, these numbers get better if things go up, these numbers get worse if things go down. So you're gonna have to sort of, look at that and say, how much risk am I really comfortable with? And that's no different with any investment. When you go and fill out your 401k thing, they ask you, or your IRA, they ask you, how much risk do you want to take? And so again, you're going to have to figure that into your portfolio and how you structure your investments, how much you really want to take on. The month one, we've taken our earnings, our net earnings after deducting the power cost, because in this model, we're paying electricity every single month. We're not flowing it. So we've taken our $483 and we've subtracted that 25%. We're going to put that in a savings account and we're going to sit on it until tax time. We've got $362 that we netted on month one. So month two, we've taken that $362 and we've got another $362 coming in. What do? Let's go ahead and buy another KSO Pro. Why did I choose this? Well, because the numbers were easier to sort of parse, and it was kind of a little bit more. It's not as good as an S21, but it's more than, say, getting a CPU rig. Now, if you get that $362 and you can build a whole CPU rig with $362, you can add a new CPU rig every single month. That adds another roughly $30 every single month, and it just snowballs and compounds. And you can kind of see that in the graph now. That $362, you add another KSO Pro, and now you're less that $600, you're up to $713. And yes, I did include the power cost associated with the KSO Pro, because it eats 40 cents a day times 30 days, so you do the math on that. We did deduct that as we move down. We go month to month, we're adding in, and as we add more devices, our monthly intake goes up. So that 362 goes to 421, goes to 479, goes to 538, 596, and by the 11th month, we've gone ahead and added 3 KSO Pros in 1 month. So that's 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've added 9 in the course of 1 year. And so at the end of that 12th month, our 362 that we're taking in is now 888, and that's after tax. So we are pretty much, have no money, but we're bringing in 888 a month versus that 362. And the taxes are, again, in the savings account, so we can pay the tax man when he comes around. We're getting progressively smaller in my little window here. Next example, what I've done, and again, this is for, because, going the calculation on every single month, adding a new small mining rig, you can certainly do that, but what we did is, okay, what if we add in the one that's really bringing home the bacon, the S21, making $16.71 a day, $8.31 in profit. Now we got to save up for it because we have no new money coming in. We got to wait till we accumulate enough to do it. But in this scenario, we are going to float the power cost, and we're going to pay it all at once at the end of the year. Now, as you can see, you can just put your eyes straight down to the bottom. You can see it's probably not going to be as lucrative as maybe adding things in piecemeal after covering your taxes. However, those taxes you don't have to pay month to month or quarterly because you're doing this as an individual. You only have to pay your taxes at tax time the following year. So all that money tied up, it's, you know, arguable to say, well, I'm going to use this tax money to bankroll another mining device because I know that that's going to increase my monthly and I'll have plenty of money at the end to pay the taxes. Now, that's a risk, and again, how does that risk fit into your model? Taking a look at it, we've got the 903.75 coming in every month. Again, that's our 1205 less 25% for taxes. So we're saving up for those first 6 months until we have enough to buy another S21 at $5,000. Will it be $5,000 in 4 or 5 months? I don't know. The Bitcoin halving's coming up. The amount of Bitcoin getting mined gets cut in half, but if the price doubles, then it's kind of a wash. When we get to month 6, we added another S21, our power cost goes up, and as you can see, it adds up quick because we're putting out $700 a month in the beginning just to cover the power. We get to month 6, that jumps up. So after we added that extra S21, our power cost went from $721 a month, now it's like $973 a month because of one S21 is about $252 a month just to power the thing. So it's ongoing. Now, maybe new firmware will come out and you can start mining much more efficiently. Maybe now it's only $200 a month. But the Bitcoin halving, what about that? You know, maybe the price of Bitcoin went down. Maybe we're underwater. Maybe we're losing money by keeping our machines on. But if you keep mining while everything is going down, less people are mining, you're making more Bitcoin. When the price goes back up in a year, then all that extra Bitcoin, it was worth it. Again, how does this risk fit into your model? And so by the end of it, you look here, just adding 2 more S21s, our monthly intake is $1,650. This is after tax, $1,653. If we go back to the previous model, if you go back in the video and look at it, just watch the video twice, but we're making about $888 per month after tax in that previous model where we kept adding KSO Pro. So, you know, does it make sense to add them piecemeal, or does it make sense to save up and add one of those big miners whenever you get the chance? Because, you know, again, these things have different strengths and weaknesses. The KSO Pro, it's really specific to one coin. Sure, there are other coins you can mine with it, but really it's beheld to Caspa, which is a fairly recent coin. It came out in 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. I would say that's still unproven. Bitcoin is not going anywhere, and if Bitcoin goes somewhere, all the other coins are going nowhere. So, you know, the KSO Pro, while it's making more based on how much you have to pay for the device, I'm still more comfortable with Bitcoin ASICs because Bitcoin's the big dog. And if you were doing this model with CPU miners or GPUs or something like that, even kind of worse because we don't have a big coin to mine with CPUs and GPUs like it was with Ethereum. You have to mine smaller speculative coins, and that's why I didn't include this in my sample here because, you know, I'd be throwing darts at the wall and guessing at that point. At least with these, we have some track record to look at on what it's able to do and forecast enough for you, the viewer, to make somewhat of an informed decision. So if you like this Millennial Money series and mining as an investment and you want to see more, you'd like me to outline more on how mining maybe compares to things like traditional investments or some alternative investments or things like that, or just going in your backyard and starting to dig a hole and looking for a big lump of gold, let me know in the comments below if you like this video. If you hate anything about this video, just leave a comment. Like the video, but leave a comment. I love it, I hate it, anything in between. On The Technicals, see you next time.